Alright, we are here with Jetmir again, but I want to make the argument that Jetmir is probably better as borderline mono green than whatever else you could possibly think of doing. So I'm willing to try the commander again, even though I just had recently tried it. So I'm playing the absolute Omega best cards, in my opinion, for Jetmir in red and white. So these, like Curse, Esper Sentinel, Giver, Skrell of Swords. You could run Path of Exile as well. I was thinking about it just because if you get board swept, you can sack one of your creatures for a land with Path of Exile. It's kind of usually better than pathing your opponents, but you can also Path Exile your opponent's creature. Like, it has multi-purpose use, and that's kind of fine, but I'm currently not running it. I have Galvanic Discharge. It's essentially another Lightning Bolt, right? And just Lightning Bolt in this, except they can't go face, I guess. I am playing Ragavan because I'm just trying to play the absolute best of red and white. And sometimes the game continues when you do play it. You know, it's not just the end-all be-all, but it usually is. Winter Moon, because I really want to hit someone with Winter Moon. I mean, this isn't a red or white card, but I just want to hit someone with this, and I'm green enough where I have enough basic lands that I don't really feel bad if I play it against myself. Same with Blood Moon. I have enough basics, this doesn't feel like a problem for me, and it can completely hose people, so I like that. Xenagos is an interesting target for Tooth and Nail, so I'm running it just giving the other creature you get haste. You could run World Spine Worm 2 with it, and then get those two, but I think World Spine Worm Xenagos is a little overkill. You usually win when you Tooth and Nail. You could play Avacyn for a Tooth and Nail target. It's triple white's kind of, I shouldn't say kind of hard, but it can be difficult to just hard cast it if it's in your hand. That's kind of an issue, but Avacyn does give you a way to, like, pass the turn safely if you did Tooth and Nail. And everything you do is, you know, very hard to deal with when Avacyn's in play. Overwhelming Splendor, just another win condition. So essentially, I'm just playing like a mono green ramp thing similar to maybe Azusa, right? Or something like Azusa, not quite, but with Jetmir as a plan B, and Jetmir as a plan B is quite significant. It is not just like a thing that might happen every 5 games. Like, Jetmir is almost plan A.2. Like, it's just kind of another thing to do, which seems really, really good to have 2 primary win conditions. I mean, they're both similar. They play into each other, right? But you don't have to go wide, and you also don't have to go tall. You can do a mix of both, and that seems pretty neat. After having said everything I just said, I want to put a Johnny in this deck. I forgot. A Johnny is a cat, and it's funny when people kill Jetmir. I might not ever have a red permanent, but we have a red permanent in the command zone, so I actually probably should have had a Johnny in here to begin with. What do I take out? I think I'm actually going to take out Kogla. There's a lot of games where this has been kind of a disappointment lately. Doing 7 damage to something sometimes isn't good enough. And you never really get to attack with Kogla, I noticed. Like, it's very uncommon to, like, untap with a Kogla. I mean, it did something immediately, so what could you ask for? But I think we can probably not run this. I think that's it. I guess we do want Cavernous Souls. We are running Blood Moon and Winter Moon. I think it's still probably fine to actually put that in here too, now that I'm thinking about it. What's, like, the worst thing here? What's the worst land? Brushland? I don't even really like the gates. Could probably get rid of the gate. Yeah, alright, we're gonna get rid of the gate and add Cavernous Souls. We're gonna add Cavernous Souls. Usually, I'm kind of wishy-washy about it, but it's kind of cool. We don't have to name Jetmir, and that's kind of neat. Alright, well, that's it. We go wide, or we go tall, or we do both. We have 2 primary game plans. Like, comment, subscribe, send it. Alright. Supposed to play a Mana Dork pre-combat. supposed to play a mana dork. I can't. I'm just so relentlessly frustrated with myself now. Alright, whatever. No, whatever. I don't feel like playing. I don't feel like playing. Was it lethal? Let's see. I miss lethal. Yep, this was 88, and they were at 70. I mean, someone will have to clarify, maybe, I don't know, in the YouTube comments if this makes it, but I legit think I miss lethal. There's 70 damage that I have to deal, and I have 88 points of trample. Damn, it's all trample. It's 88 points. That are, like, viable Jetmir options. I'm just running, like, the best green ones. Okay, we don't have any white mana. No surprise there. But this hand is just probably good as is. Maybe it isn't, though. It isn't doing much unless I find stuff off the top and feels kind of ugly. This is a weird mulligan. Okay. Okay, Xenagos is interesting. No red mana, but that's kind of fine. Let's play you on turn 1, because that's broken. Oh, my opponent does not have one in response. Oh, wow. Boros Elite. That is spicy. Okay, let's play you. And I guess Balagit Recovery. It's most likely not going to get something out of my graveyard here. We do have the red source and the Loam Speaker. Can I just smash this for... I can just poke it? Okay. Triggered by Kogla. Too many decks that lose the artifact. Alright, I probably need to kill this. Let's see what happens when I do this. I think they have something here. Which is very annoying. Oh, maybe not. Pay 1 energy. And then move phases so they lose the white mana. I would love a swords here. Oh, please, swords. Please. Please! Yes! Yeah. Alright, let's go get a red here. I could play Jetmir. I think I'm gonna play Jetmir, actually. My opponent just cast swords, and they're a creature deck, so... Yeah, I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, if people play Nissa in the command zone, you just kind of feel bad if you're an artifact or enchantment strategy. No, Esper Sentinel's in Brawl. Yeah, it's in this deck. We have Lightning Bolt. I like that. The rest of the hand's kind of iffy, but it's alright. It's kind of doing what I want. But yeah, we have Esper Sentinel in here. It is one of the best cards in white, so it's one of like the 5 white cards in here. Because it's just really, really, really good. It is really, really good. Oh, look! Look at that! What a surprise! Wow, look at that! On the play with the 1-drop. Oh my goodness. Alright, let's remove that from existence so we don't immediately lose the game. Play Shrines? Oh jeez, you're out of your mind. Yep. Oh, I will play my Mana Dork. And then I will... What do I do now? What's next turn look like? Giver of Runes? Kind of boring. Could just play Jetmir. I might take out some of the large cards for more 3-mana ramp spells. It seems like there's a slight gap in what I'm trying to do. Oh, look at that. If I didn't kill Delighted Halfling, I would have lost. Because they would have cultivated last turn. And there's not much I could do about that. So I only have 1 white source this turn cycle, and I think a Johnny is slightly more interesting than Giver. So I'm going to play that. Giver is not protecting anything extremely crucial or anything like that right now, so... Oh, okay. Opponent deliberately holds on to their land because of their commander. Let us play Elder Gugu, I think. Or do we play Jetmir? No, we're going to play Gugu. If our opponent's committing their... whatchamacallit next turn, then I don't think I have time for this. Sanctum of All? Yeah, Sanctum of All is the, yeah, that's the card. Every time I play against Shrine decks, I'm like, if they have Sanctum, the game's over. If they don't, they probably lose. It's kind of how every time I play against it, it feels. Alright, another removal spell from a blue-green deck. Not all that upset But I did lose all my mana from Fanatic of Ronus. Can I get it back? Do I have enough after Jetmir? I do not. This is fine. And then play this, and I have 5 mana currently. Not enough for Vorinclex. Let's get Temple Garden. I want an untapped white right now. So, yeah. Alright, so swing with these. My opponent blocks that. That's fine. That is actually totally fine. I didn't have to swing with the Johnny. Maybe it was wrong. I could have swung with just the other creatures, but I don't think it's a big deal. My opponent needs to do something next turn, not this turn. Like, yeah, this turn is just Tatyova. It's just next turn's the problem. Of course, they have a fetch land. Why wouldn't they? Lands all into creatures? Yeah, I've seen that before. Not what I'm doing, though. Alright, well, I'm always playing this. And I guess I just swing and see what happens. Like, swing here, here, and here. I don't want to lose Giver of Runes. I can give something protection if they block funny. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's not lethal, so they didn't block. But swinging with the Giver wouldn't accomplish anything. They would just block it. So there was no way to get lethal. But like I said, this is the turn where they have to actually do something. Okay, well, we didn't lead with a fetch land. Lucky us. But yeah, I shouldn't have killed a Johnny there with the attack a couple turns ago. Looks like I'm going to lose to Cyclonic Rift. I don't think Liberator does anything. It does blow up one of their blockers, but they're already dead, so that's not a big deal. Okay, well, I mean, I'm gonna swing. Oh, it costs 8 mana. Whoops, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. My bad. Probably still right to name Phyrexian. Okay, well, I don't think that saves you. So, Vorinclex looking spooky yet again for the opponent. Is there any reason to cast it right now before combat? Not particularly. So, we can swing with only this. Everything else is an irrelevant attack. Alright, I have 4 mana here, so the intervention is up. I don't think it really saves me from whatever blue and green is doing. So I can play I can play this and then cast Craterhoof and win. Wow. That's a bonkers top deck. That was completely insane. Yep, get wrecked. Wow. Wow. That Vorinclex just... I mean, it saved my life for, like, that whole game. And this game would have been way faster. Like, it would have been different, too, if I also had a Johnny. That's insane. Look how many lands my opponent had. They had 9 cards in hand. They saw half their deck? They saw half their deck. That's insane. Oh... What a top deck, dude. Top deck Archdua's Charm. 13. Yep, that's crazy. Okay. Have I ever played Standard Brawl? Nope. And I never will. It's 60 cards instead of 100, right? I think it's 60 cards instead of 100. Which it basically has to be. There's not enough cards in Standard to field 100 card strategies, really. That's possible. You'd have a bunch of draft fillers. I'm not remotely interested in Standard Brawl. I would rather play Hearthstone before I play Standard. I played the Garbo out of Standard 5-ish years ago and played, like, super competitive, and I will never play Standard again. Speaking of Standard, we have the Standard issue 1 drop. Yeah, it is 60. Okay, makes sense. It's, it is the farthest from interesting to me. Well, every game we have played since I started is literally been the same exact thing from opponents, which is 1-drops. I think a basic mountain is fine here, and then I'll never have basic color issues again. I think that is reasonable. If they bring, like, Oathbreaker to the game, I'd play that, where you could have a spell, a signature spell, and a commander. I would really like that. That seems fun. Probably Cultivate is the best card, but it would still be kind of cool to see, I guess. But it's probably just Cultivate. Okay, so I can do this, put that here, and I love the idea of doing it. So I'm going to bestow here, and then make a copy of it. And then draw. So I have, like, infinite mana dorks. Alright, well, I have more mana than they do, but I don't have 6 lands for Scute Swarm. I think I'm going to play it anyways next turn. We're almost at Jetmir being just dumb and scary on its own. Sure. This is mono green. I don't think I'm sacking lands to Sylvan's Safekeeper. That is not a fetch land. That is notable. Creativity available in Standard Brawl since 99 historic. Predictable. Well, that doesn't make any sense though, because Standard is more predictable than Brawl. Like there's less card diversity in Standard by a landslide, by like a huge margin, and there's even less commanders too, right? There's probably what 4 or 5 commanders per color, and most of them are probably completely useless. Like you would never play them in a trillion years, kind of useless. So I completely disagree with that. Oh, that's actually a pretty smart attack. I guess I'm not blocking. Oh, wow. Okay. I might not have ever seen that attack. Okay, so I assume my next turn I'm going to go for, like, actually killing my opponent. I'm willing to pay 2 to make one of these instead of a normal token. Let's get another land drop. It's kind of the same as, like, just paying mana for this instead of playing out a mana dork. Just do this instead. It's like the same thing. And alright, so next turn my opponent is dead to Jetmir, unless they deal with my board, which is kind of impossible for mono green. Yeah, if anything, Standard is less consistent, more predictable than this one. There are way less cards, and the decks are smaller, so you even see the same cards more often. There's no 1-drops. There's no Llanowar Elves in Standard, so that's kind of cool, you know. You can play... Maybe I'll try it just because I don't suffer by all the 1-drop nonsense, but, like... Yeah. Yeah, you should expect consistency in all formats. It's just the available card pool is smaller, right? But if you're going to play a strategy, you're going to assume kind of the same logic. Like, yeah, you have more access to more cards in this format, but those cards are all borderline identical, is kind of the same as, Are these treasures? They're clues. Kind of the same spiel there. Like, just because Brawl has more cards doesn't mean you see more cards. Like, I get that, but that does not give Standard a good defense, because it's literally just the same thing a zillion times over. Okay, I don't know if this is lethal. I don't think it is, but it could be, and I don't know. Let's find out. They all have double strike. I don't know how this is not lethal. I'm gonna not pay. And yeah, all right. This is lethal. It's all double strike, right? Like, there's no way this is not lethal. Opponent is mulliganing for their 1-mana green spell, but I have this. I don't have an answer to the 1 mana green spell, so I guess we're going to trade. Oh! Okay. Sure. That's interesting. November 15th, huh? Alright, so I need a green source immediately for this emergent thingy. Yep, let's do that. Let's do this. I mean, it's a creature and a land, so that's kind of why it's in here. I kind of need another green. We could just get, like, a red or something. It's pretty easy for me to find green. I don't feel bad about that, especially if Ragavan hits my opponent. And, of course, it doesn't. Opponent has the penultimate perfect outcome of not dying to Ragavan. Whoop-de-doo. Does Jetmir allow me to... No. Okay. Am I swinging with both of these? Sure. Ragavan's not doing anything. If I can't make contact anyways, might as well get rid of it. It's as mono green as it's gonna get. Alright, Twiz, you need to calm down. Alright. Oh, cool, I'll take a card, sure. My opponent's 6-drop, or 5-drop, is a little bit better than mine, but... I don't know. Yeah, the format is probably slower. I would agree. I'd think Standard Brawl is probably slower, because not everyone's doing hyper Omega efficient dumb stuff, so that's pretty neat. That is pretty neat. I will make a 3/3 because we care about creatures, but we also like to draw. We already have, like, our black, or the green Titan. Oh, they didn't even block. Okay, I kind of thought they would block. Alright, let's just generate enough of a board state where I probably win next turn if it's unanswered, and it's mono green again, so it can be kind of hard to answer. They need to play, I don't even know. But I would not be surprised if I immediately lost, because that's what mono green does. You know what I would like? Pauper. You know what I'd like? I'd like Pauper. Instead of 3 days every 4 months of Pauper, I can play Pauper whenever I want. I would stop playing Brawl and I'd play Pauper if it became a format in this game. I would absolutely do that. I want Pauper. Or Artisan, which is commons and uncommons. I would play that. I love those formats. I find them very fun. Okay, we have 9 mana. What are we doing? We're doing that, sure. This doesn't cast them, does it? Opponent got Emrakul, because of course they did. And Titan of Industry, because of course they did. Excellent. Why not? Alright, well, I didn't immediately lose, but I don't know if Gargaroth is lethal. Maybe if I made a 3/3, it would be lethal. Well, no, I guess they would have generated a blocker. Mono green. We have literally only played against green decks, by the way. Just throwing that out there for anyone who was curious. Okay, let's see what this looks like before I attack. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This does not get tokens. 7, 8. Alright, this game is over then? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Because the Gargaroth can make a 3/3. Hold on a second. Wait a second. Oh, I lose the mountain attacker. Oh. I'm still going to do it and make my opponent show me that they're maybe not dead. But this is... I'm making a 3/3 here. This is all double strike. Yep. So that's another... Yep. I think this is still lethal. 10... I think this actually killed my opponent. Double strike. Okay, we go to the double strike combat. Oh, yes! Yeah, it was super lethal. Okay. Yes. Oh, I mean, it was so lethal that I probably shouldn't get as excited. It's literally 17 power over lethal, but... Ajani's interesting. Is it interesting enough? Maybe. Let's get a... Well, no, we can do this on one, actually. And then a Johnny can come in next turn. And then, I don't know. See what happens. This is kind of, again, basically the best commander. I think Tamiyo's probably the best commander in the format right now. For, like, the non-top tier commanders, it seems as though that's the case. Maybe they're in a position where they can't swing with it, and I can just race them down. This is as big a board as I can get before I just can never resolve a card again. So... Also, my hand is actually kind of bad. Let's play land. It doesn't matter what I get. I'm gonna... I guess I could get a Surveil land, just in case my opponent counters Emergent Sequence. I don't know, right? There's the argument. Okay, that's a totally useless card. What are we doing? Red. Oh, it doesn't trigger, Evolve. I thought it would trigger Evolve as a 3/3. That's unfortunate. Lame. Well, I got a 3/3 into play, which is quite significant. I don't have a red source for a Johnny's Ping, but, I mean, that's probably not that relevant. If we put them in a position where they're not leaving up counterspells, we're pretty happy. If they have to tap out on their own turn. Also, if they are leaving up mana, that means they're not casting spells, which doesn't really stop me from doing things against them. I'm a little surprised to see this, but I guess maybe not. This indicates Wash Away, right? This is Wash Away for days. You know, we haven't gotten Winter Moon or Blood Moon to matter either. Okay, so the other mountain. I mean, I'm just gonna play it. Just going to play it. Do you have Wash Away? Nope. This is notably not close to lethal. I think I'm going to commit every single creature into Tamiyo. If it's an unsummon, they want to cast it after I declare my attacks. They don't want to do it now, because then I have more information, and that makes no sense. Yep. If I kill Tamiyo, I don't think they can ever commit 3 minutes to casting it again, but maybe they can. Okay, it was an unsummon. Look at that. So, they were wise when they chose to attack or put it there, and this, I mean, killing Tamiyo puts me in a excellent spot. Tamiyo costs 3, but it is not flipped. Okay, back to this. I think I'll just cast my commander pre-combat, because why not? Play around the pay 2 counter spells. If it's mana drain, then whatever, congratulations. Yep. And do I cast Armored Scrapgorger? It's 3 less damage. Maybe I do cast Scrapgorger. Exiling my opponent's graveyard can be relevant. I don't know if it's going to be relevant, though. I feel like 3 damage is not as good as putting Scrapgorger into play. But I've been wrong before. So they take 4. Not very exciting. Alright, well they did get Tamiyo back. Craterhoof is lethal, but there's obviously no way to resolve Craterhoof. Unless I top deck Cavern of Souls or something. They need to draw an additional card to flip... Oh wait, never mind. Excuse me. They probably wanted to swing first to make a clue token. That was probably a mistake. Go to combat. Actually, let's cast Jetmir first again. And if they counter it again, then we know where, like, our attacks can go because they're tapped out. Makes sense to me. This Scrapgorger can't attack anyways. I might as well do this. Let's get rid of... disallow? And then we swing. So, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is kind of ugly, but there's no reason to attack with that. Everything has to go here to kill it, right? No, just these 2. This can go face for 1, right? Yeah, alright. guess that's fine. It's not great, but now Tamiyo cost 5, and my board is a big deal. So River's Rebuke is a problem, but also not really, because they spend all of their mana. Cyclonic Rift would be way worse. That is totally fine. Totally fine. I don't even know what they're looking for. Look at that. Yep. We got under the Tamiyo with kind of the fastest board I could imagine. Just these 2 cards. We got under it, and then we harassed them enough where they felt like maybe flipping this for the plus was better than keeping it as a 0-3, which I kind of disagree. I know they have to eventually flip it, but I think it as a 0-3 may have been a little bit more useful, because every time it flipped, it died immediately, right? White and red is fine here. Oh, no, I don't have Sacred Foundry, so just this. I'm just going to get a basic. I don't need more green, and I don't have a Sacred Foundry to get anyways. I guess maybe I should run a Sacred Foundry instead of one of these basics or something. Well, an Esper Sentinel with Nantaku on it's really funny. It's more mana they have to pay for me to not draw, and it just makes more Esper Sentinels, which is really funny. Yep. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Oh. Of course not. Silly me. Alright, well, I would like to not draw a land next turn, but I guess it actually doesn't matter if I do or not. Okay. Guess we're just playing against this. Lightning Bolt is interesting. Okay. Typical Yurion player, having literally everything in the universe. This is interesting, because it can start blowing up. Well, no, actually it can't. I guess I just play this then. And proceed to not do anything else. Biogenic Ooze is good. Overwhelming Splendor can be good later, if it winds up mattering. Opponent's having all the perfect answers to everything I'm doing. I'm gonna kill one of these now, so I don't lose the game when they exile all my cards perfectly. And what do I play now? Biogenic Ooze or Silverback? I don't actually know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't really swing though, so probably not. Let's just play this. So it is up to my opponent to start to find answers to my board, lest it get too big. But they do have the One Ring, and that's really, really good, so. Kind of nullifies a lot of things I do. Oh, this answers Overwhelming Splendor as well. Land, and then play this and blow up the Banishing Light. I can't blow up One Ring. All of the things I'm doing feel great, except my opponent has One Ring and makes it all irrelevant. I need 4, 5, 6. If I draw a white source, so wait, 4, 5, 6, 7. Splendor is very good against them. I feel like I'm just watching my opponent do things and nothing I do matters. No surprise there. Typical Magic. Oh, look, I drew my white source. Thanks, game. Appreciate it. There are no attacks still, so now I need my opponent to have no effect that flickers Urion. I guess I would also need no counter spells, and no, like, River's Rebuke Cyclonic Rift, so I need, like, the... Oh, and my opponent just makes it cost 3 more. Alright, silly me. What happens when this dies? Return an artifact or enchantment from your graveyard to your hand. There are no viable bounce-offs, so I guess I'll just take it. Xenaghost, does that change anything? Not really. Guess I can swing with one creature, that's pretty good. I don't know what that one creature is. I guess one of these big tokens. Jetmir itself? No. I can't swing, though, because then they just block with the Cavalier and I just lose the game, so... Probably not swinging. This is not lethal, right? 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 30, 34, 5 or 6 or 7. No, it's not lethal. Duplicate of a creature card in your opponent's library. Okay, that's a weird one. That's very strange. What does this get that matters? Probably nothing. Let's see, it has to cost 5 or less? There's no viable fight or anything like that, right? No, not really. I'm just going to go get a card that costs 5 or less. Gargaroth is interesting. Really not many actual reasonable targets. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 creatures, so I could get a Johnny to get the double strike going. Because it's 2 creatures in 1. There's no other card under... This is 6, right? Let me make sure I don't have 6 mana. I do not. Alright, so a Johnny gives me what I need to buff the board right now, so... Probably my last turn anyways. Probably just screwed if this doesn't work, so I'm just going to send it. Whatever. Send it. Just assume my opponent knows how to block. But I don't think I kill my opponent with this. Okay, they just didn't block. Wait a minute. Is this always lethal? I don't think this is lethal. Let's see. Okay, so this is... My opponent would have gone to somewhere like 3 or less. I believe they could have gone to 3. And then this would put them to 1. Everything would be dead. Urion would be dead, which... Well, actually... Yeah. Urion would be dead, and... Wow. Okay. Oh, whoa, lerp. Need a green source. You can probably get a basic forest here. I guess I'll play this one. It's got hexproof and can actually attack Tameo as the game proceeds. The other ones can't really do that. Just resolving this is fine, probably. I'd rather not give my opponent a free Connive, and I don't really think playing Grazer is worth it, so I'm just not going to do that. Oh, it's another Tameo player with Mox Amber. Of course. Why not? Everything I do totally matters. Jetmir... And swing with this. This has Vigilance. I don't think they're going to not block it, but I mean, I might as well cast it. So again, casting spells just gives my opponent, like, free Connives, and that feels absolutely terrible, so I don't really want to play anything. So I'm not going to. They can crack Mishra's Bauble on my turn. That will give them, okay, never mind. I was going to say it could matter, but with the One Ring, it now just does not matter. Feels like I'm having complete non-games. I just don't get to do anything. Like, sure, I'm playing cards, but they don't do anything. Siege Gang Commander. Oh, boy. At this point, I'm not able to respect connive. I'm just going to play magic cards. If Siege Gang somehow resolves, I can surprise them with a lot of damage. But that is also not that enticing or exciting anyways, so I don't really know. I don't know. I don't know. I have basically one shot at it. I think I will play Grazer just to put another creature in play. I know I lose my Goose Food token, but I think this is fine. Opponent's holding a boatload of priority just to crack a bauble on my end step. Love to see it. Could have just done that to start. Saved us 20 minutes. Why are they tapping the Mox Amber manually? There's no need. I don't think there's a need. I don't have enough to block the... Oh, okay, they're still swinging. I was going to say, if I had, like, enough reach in play right now, I could have maybe done something scary if I didn't tap the goose. But, I mean, then this wouldn't be in play, so that's not true. Okay, opponent, you must do things right now against me. And they have to be very good. But the Ledger Shredder kind of makes that borderline trivial, so... Yep, I'm casting this pre-combat, as is the only thing reasonable to do against a Ledger Shredder, whatchamacallit, kind of thing. So now I have the goblins to just send it at Tamiyo. I think we go face with everything except Jetmir. Oh wait, everything except that, excuse me. Yeah, this is fine. Because this resolve, the Siege Gain, I can swing like this. And they need more than... What is this doing? Blink of an Eye is not good enough, because I have Giver of Runes. This is not good enough. Pretty sure it's enough damage to kill, too, so... Oh, Giver has Vigilance! Oh, I did it! I forgot. I forgot. I'm dumb. I'm dumb. I'm sorry. Giver has Vigilance. I could have swung with it. Now, if they block it and kill it, it feels bad. So maybe actually not swinging with it makes sense. So never mind. Maybe what I did makes sense. I'm not going to make a move. Yeah, I was about to say, like, you can block it all day. I don't care. I'm not going to make a move. Excuse me. It's a simple matchup. It's a simple matchup. Because obviously my strategy is pretty straightforward too. Okay, so this deck was way better than the last deck I played, or version of Jetmir I played. This was way better, and it's mono green. Basically, it's as mono green as you reasonably can expect to be, because there's no reason not to play the best cards in red and white. If you have access to them, you might as well put them in your deck. But for what we were doing, it felt great. Like, everything I was doing was great. Every turn. If I had a 1-drop, I felt good on green. Like, green was the best color on 1. Green was basically my only color on 2. Johnny was very, very good. I mean, it's just the best thing I could have done. That's it. I don't know what else to say. Mono green was really, really good. Or as mono green as you're willing to become. Overwhelming Splendor was a little wishy-washy, even though we are essentially like a heavy ramp deck. It did feel a little tough to cast Overwhelming Splendor sometimes, which is a little unfortunate. I'd say that might be the one pain point. Same with Great Henge. I added this near the end, and it didn't really feel like I had a creature that was big at any consistent point where I felt like this was cheap to actually cast. But if it is in play, we're sitting real pretty because our deck is basically all creatures. And then this just just keeps sending through your whole deck, right? And that is very, very good. I didn't really get any Voice of Resurgence value, unfortunately. And I also got, like, no Esper Sentinel value. Again, every time I play this card, I never draw a card off of it. It's really annoying. But, I mean, it's situational. And this is not, like, 4-player, right? Like, Rhystic Study is excellent with 3 opponents. Esper Sentinel is excellent with 3 opponents. 1-on-1, they're not that amazing, but I'm kind of surprised I just never drew a single card off of Esper Sentinel. So there's an argument to taking this out. Not only do you basically need it on turn 1, basically, you need to have your opponent draw with it. Like, having it and playing it is one thing, but your opponent also needs to not, pay for it. And then that's the second part of it. And that never came up, really. It also, if I had the option between this and a Menadork on turn 1, I'm always playing the Menadork. I am never playing this on turn 1 if I had the option of something else. So, I don't really like Esper Sentinel. I don't know. It's just, it has been underperforming significantly for me. Maybe in tier 1, or the more sweaty the opponent's decks are, like lower curve, whatever, perfect curving out nonsense, the better it gets. If your opponent's trying to play spells on their turn and yours, the better it gets. It just did not seem like that was ever happening, even against Tamiyo. And that's just like the best Brawl we've ever seen, right? Just playing spells on your opponent's turn all day, and it still didn't feel good. So I don't really like Esper Sentinel. I think I'm actually taking it out. It just never really did anything. Skrelv also is a little awkward. It doesn't protect this in combat, but there's enough things where that doesn't matter, where I still wish I had Skrelv, because giving it hexproof is just fine. That's why Safekeeper is in here anyways, because if Jetmir is one of my plan A's, then it's good to try to protect it. The curve was interesting. I think I could have done a little bit better with the 4s and 5s. I tried to fix it later on, but I think this slot, the 4 and 5 slot, can be worked on a little bit more. Maybe taking out some of the 6s and ups, like the Huntmaster could probably just be a 4-drop that is similar. There's some better things you could do probably on 4. I think filling out these slots would have done me a little bit better. Or at least one of them. Maybe not both, but one of them. But it did feel like going wide and also going tall were both kind of possible. And if I'm just playing Magic, playing a green deck, doing whatever, it's as similar as the Nissa. The 7-mana Nissa that comes with the Overrun with your forests. It felt like I was playing that, except I didn't need like 7 mana for my commander to show up and overrun my opponent. My Overrun is 4 mana. Right? It does demand I have a lot of creatures in play, but that's not really an issue. I mean, a lot of my creatures are things that you're not really upset if your opponent kills them. And if they don't, well, guess what? Now they're a huge problem later. Even Gilded Goose swings as like a 3/2 double strike. It's kind of just nuts. So, I recommend this if you like Jetmir. This was probably the best Jetmir iteration I have played. It seems to be the best Jetmir iteration I have played against, and I've played against a fair amount of it. Nobody's doing the mono green thing, but I would make the argument that this is probably better than playing more red and white cards. This felt way better. So, well, let me know what you thought about the list. If you have ideas to make it more green, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.